We are Islamic Republic, Part 44. They had given loyalty and sacrifice to the Britain during the war and had expected much more in return. For the Muslims, Mr. Jinnah strongly criticized the Montag-Chelmsford reforms. In important respects, the government of India remained almost the same, and the provincial governments did not have enough power. But in spite of their disappointment, he warned against a violent response. Instead, he called on Indians of all faith to work together to gain further reforms. In addition to the opposition by the Muslim League and Congress, the other religious groups, including Anglo Indians and Sikh, demanded that they too should be granted concessions. It was a sign of even further divisions. Well, India supported Britain in World War I. Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah emerged as the major Muslim political leader. He achieved the historic Muslim-Hindu agreement Lucknow Pact. Indians demanded a speedy move to self-government. Montag made the first mention by the British of possible self-rule. The Montag-Chelmsford reforms were too slow for Indian leaders. With the India, with the end of the war, Indians felt let down by the British. There was increasing anger and frustration over the British failure to properly reward India for its loyalty and support during the war. The principle of self determination that Britain, France, and the USA had promised nations after the war was not applied to India. The British were preoccupied with greeting their own lives back to normal after the war and settling the problems of Europe. However, some British politicians, especially in Labour Party, which had emerged as an important political party, were sympathetic to Indian independence. Sooner or later, Indian disappointment was bound to lead to the further protest and increasing violence. How the British responded to this agitation was to have a serious effect on Indian politics. British determination. Muslims were very upset with the situation that emerged after the war. Many of them were quite prepared to join the Congress led by Mahatma Gandhi and defy the British. The Lucknow Pact had shown that the Hindus and Muslims could work together. The Russian Revolution of 1917 had led to the first communist government. Communism, with its rejection of religion, promise of equal treatment, and opposition to colonization, appealed to some Indians. A communist revolution, so they thought, would rid them of the British and create a fair society. Without any religious division for their part, the British decided that firm action was needed to keep their grip on the important part of the empire. The stage was being set for inevitable violence. Why did the British introduce prison without trial? During the war, the British had used Defence of India Act to help them keep order. This act was due to expire 6 months after the end of the war. The government was well aware of the growing demands for self rule. Events in Russia terrified the British. The communists had overthrown the government, murdered the royal family, and confiscated private property. Communist leaders promised that communism would spread worldwide.